we do not approach things as though there are trade-offs, and we got to figure out what are acceptable trade-offs and learn how to have that conversation again. The biggest problem that I think we have as a set of communities is that we like to pound our chests and say, oh, we're so conservative. Well, what are we conserving? If we're not rebuilding our roads or rebuilding our hospitals or rebuilding our nursing homes, we're certainly not conserving our small towns, because all those things create jobs. It takes people, those are the things that keep people in a community because they have quick access to the resources that they need. That it's also the things that keeps our knowledge and our local history and our local culture there.
Because you lose kids so much in the rural areas.
Think about your school.
They get out.
They immediately get out. And then people start treating your school as something that's unnecessary, right? Or it's just babysitting throughout the day while you go and work your ass off for wages at the exact same job that you could probably have in Wichita that's unionized, and make more and have better benefits and have time off.
Yeah, I was just looking at your profile of like the racial breakdown compared, because I have like the average of the percentages of yours, and then Kansas is over here. You guys are way higher on your. What I would say when I do your profile is that you're not very diverse.
No.
And then you do have a higher population of older people. Compared to the state, but these are the things I look at when I'm trying to, it's like if you don't have, there's one district that like they have so many, it's mainly married couples with children. And so you got to make sure your constituents are mostly family. They have completely different needs than elderly or rural or whatever, and
Well, if another way of thinking about this is if you look at the economic breakdown of basically kind of who has oil and who doesn't, who has resources and is producing and who doesn't. The people who have the greatest amount of revenue in my county turns out to be like 5 families, right? And then everybody else works for them for the most part. Now, that's neither good nor bad. I'm not trying to highlight that as a good thing, but it does mean those 5 families really have the resources to take care of their parents and their grandparents, whereas everyone else really doesn't.
So they're not thinking about it.
Right, and it's not to say that those 5 families aren't thinking about it, but that's going to be much less of a concern for them than it is for someone like me.
I think a lot of times people that are just out of touch because they've always had money, and it's not even that they're evil or nefarious. There are definitely evil rich people, but I think that they just don't think about those things because they've never had to think about it. None of their circle talks about it. No one in their family knows that. So they just... it's not that they're like evil trying to hurt poor people. They aren't even thinking about poor people. They aren't even thinking about
our system. So this is my Bernie rant, right? Our system kind of encourages a kind of neo-feudalization, which is you get to be the top person in your area, and our economic system wants to consolidate that. So eventually it'll whittle down to 2 or 3 top people, and that will be it. Our problem with doing that way is that that's basically hoarding resources. You're not per se responsible for that as an individual. You're incentivized by all of our laws, state and federal, to kind of do that, right? But assuming that is moral, basically you're creating poverty, and you're creating the conditions to erode your communities. So you can be something like, there's a family out of, I think it's Allen County, that's completely revitalizing Humboldt, and they're turning all their millions back into that community and revitalizing buildings. They're doing community festivals. They're helping their employees. They're giving them free memberships to the gym. They're making sure they have health insurance and all that stuff. I think all that is awesome. That's what you could do. But that's also a sign that you recognized a need in your community, and that other communities also probably have that need. And those other communities, you're not wealthy enough as individuals to help those other communities. You have to have something that redistributes wealth in such a way, and money and power and whatever that is, in such a way that everyone's needs are being served, right? And maybe I get that from Catholic social justice teaching.
I get it from Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
That
always comes back to that. If we don't have this, we can't get
I have neighbors who are working 2 and 3 jobs. They had better jobs at one point in time, but their companies collapsed during COVID or one thing or another.
That's the thing too. Is
it's expensive to move and get another job.
They're still recovering from things like that out here in a way that the urban districts are not.
Yes.
That's another thing I've seen is that the hit, hit that there are so many small. Basically, COVID took out a lot of little towns. Yeah. Either because they lost too many people that died, or they just infrastructurally, financially collapsed,
right.
and so
and
they went
unincorporated. Brain drain
too.
It went brain drain
people
too
left.
Because not just did people left, but the people that have the technical skills to do some of this stuff also left, and then you have to hire a consultant to do it for you because your city offices don't know or one thing or another.